What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? It is Wednesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween to you all, but more importantly to me, we are 50 hours to the first championship race of Breeders' Cup, and I am pumped! Pete, I have barely slept. I was here at the office till the wee hours of the morning recording our special for Championship Future Stars Friday. Very excited to come into work, though, when I see all these great cappers joining us. Giovanni Beesdorf, Nutflush, Allen, Art Hayes, our man Tom Gunn, Vegas Gunn, and Ray Prakish says, good morning, everyone. I've heard great things about this show. Trying to join the fraternity,
really?
Pete.
Okay, very nice.
Ray Prakish, welcome to the team. Vancouver Brooks joining us. Vancouver Brooks, we have a big game now, not nearly as big as the old Knuckleheads versus Blackhawks games when Duncan Keith was a Norris Trophy winner. A little known fact, but I tried out for the Penticton Panthers hockey team that starred a young Duncan Keith, a team I did not make, and it was the denouement of my hockey career. But I'm very excited to be here. I have very little sleep. I'm going to be messing up words because of the lack of sleep, but I'm pumped. How you feel? We're coming off a good day.
Yeah. Yesterday was good. I had another winning day in NHL, and it would have been a much bigger winning day if I hadn't last minute been convinced to go on San Jose -1, so I donked off a unit and a half on that one. But it was still a winning day for me in NHL and in NBA. This is something I really need to figure out what the hell's going on with me in NBA, Jimmy. Because I had one play in NBA last night in the show. Then I tweeted out a second half play which cashed. My one play that I gave out last night in the show was Cavs. No problem, right?
Easy.
Covered first quarter easily, full game easily, second half easily. My play was second half -2. So I'm sorry, first half -2. So even though I gave the Cavs, even though I had a perfect read on the game, still wound up giving a loser in the NBA. And this is what happened with last year. Do you remember last year? I would have a read on the game, and there would be a team that I liked, right? I would look at them, I'd be like, all right, I like this team. And then in retrospect, you'd see, wow, they covered the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, the full game, the second half. Amazing. My play that I recommended was the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? How many times, you remember that last year, Jim?
I do remember.
How many times did that happen?
I do remember. I think we are going to be just fine
You think
in
so?
NBA. You were bang on. That was just a tough luck spot. I felt terrible, and Adrian Ganecka saying, Jimmy, what happened to NHL last night? Listen, I was up minuscule units in NHL last night, but wow, I thought the Pens, I hate taking teams who have to travel across the entire continent to come back home. I just felt like all the issues going on in Pittsburgh would push the Penguins towards a victory there. I'm sorry, Adrian Ganekis. The two plays that I thought were the soundest. Now, Trot Wham, shout out to Trot Wham. There's some people we need to give shouts out to. Trot Wham, for sure. He was all over the Coyotes. I had the Coyotes, too. He said it was the play of the day. I should have led everyone there, and shout out to Trot Wham. Also, shout out to Red Girl. Red Girl said to me, she said, Kent State Bowling Green, and she said under, and then she said, trust me.
Wow, really?
And I did trust her. I went 2-0 in NCAA football.
Yeah.
God, Buffalo has been very good to us. But Adrian Ganekis, I am sorry. The two plays that I really liked fell through. The Predators hit, though, at plus 182. The Coyotes hit at plus 155. So even losing 3 units on the other 3 games, I still end up slightly plus. But I'm sorry, Adrian Ganekis.
Yeah, I mean, no, overall it was a very good day. Of course, I did wind up, we discussed that Buffalo game ad nauseum. Everyone said that everyone was predicting Buffalo by 10, which is exactly what happened. I wound up making a safe play, a pussy safe play, taking Buffalo second. Yeah, Buffalo first half money line -203, but that one did cash. And of course, my plays in NHL, which seemed like they were very obvious, and I was worried they might have seemed too obvious, were all fine. The overs in the Minnesota game, Ottawa team total under cashed, the first period over in the Columbus game cashed, and of course Nashville cashed. So overall it was good.
Yeah, those were great plays. Very sound and smart moves over there. I thought the Oilers were going to take care of business. Shout out to Theodore McIntosh. Says, Jimmy, you should have faded the Habs with me. It is tough to trust Dallas on the road, but Radulov had something to say. Tough to trust the Stars. Excuse me, did I say Habs? Tough to trust the Stars on the road. But fading the Habs is something I'm going to want to be doing moving forward, even though it's hurt me quite a bit.
Overall, it was good. Vince Campagna says, longtime watcher, first time catching show live. Love it. Shout out to you, Vince Campagna. Vince Campagna. Yeah, so overall, it was a winning day. It's just something frustrating about it. Last minute, I would have been up 4 units in NHL if it hadn't been for that friggin' last second San Jose play, which was just, I don't know. I knew you were on it. I knew that you thought that San Jose was the best team in the NHL. And at the end of the last show, some people were saying that they liked San Jose on the puck line. And you still think San Jose is one of the best teams in the NHL, Jim, or the best?
I think they are the best
really?
team in the NHL. They've had by far the toughest schedule. Now, I know the Rangers are in a tough schedule, but Rangers are going to give us value moving forward, and there's going to be letdown spots. The Sharks have to get a rhythm going. Burns has gotten to that rhythm, but Karlsson is not. Yes, I think they are going to be the best team in the NHL. They are still playing without Joe Thornton, who, although he won't help 5-on-5, he will help on the power play. King Rail says, if you guys aren't watching King's Court, y'all missing Money. Jay, Money, and I are on a roll. Great job. Chris Menzie says, Jimmy, good spot for Vancouver tonight. I don't know how it can be when the injuries keep piling up, but I'm certainly very pensive about fading them, very worried about fading them. But yes, Red Girl was so strong last night. PRC publicist, the Islanders catch the Penguins sleeping, so they put on a clinic. It was too late for the Pens to catch up.
That was in my leans category. I was looking at that game. I didn't even mention it, but the Islanders on the alternative puck line was an obvious play worth a shot. And I did. So it was okay, but I left some plays on the table. And again, shout out to a King Rail and Native Queen and a few others, I believe, who had the Cavs first quarter, but not the first half. And I said that in the show. I was like, all right, so King Rail and Native Queen like the Cavs first quarter, but not the first half. Why? Why would they like the first quarter, but not also the first half? For some reason, and of course, turned out they were totally right, and I continue to be snake bit in NBA. But, I did tweet out a second half play. My second half plays in NBA are going fine overall this year. So
a lot of people tried to warn me off taking the Magic. If I would have had a perfect night in NBA. I went 3-1. Dan Kelly, also the great Dan Kelly, took offense that I didn't follow him in his play third quarter with his third quarter play with the Kings. I just felt, now the Kings are they're becoming a very good basketball team. I just felt like the Magic were in such a good spot, and that was a mistake. But a 3-1 night in NBA gives me more confidence moving forward.
Let me ask you this. Mr. Gokster99 says San Jose Sharks chemistry is very shaky, very.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're adding a Norris Trophy winning defenseman who wants to have the puck. So that's just going to take some time to figure out. Burns has figured it out, but the whole team needs to figure it out. And that will take some time. But when they do, and you have 2 Norris Trophy winning defensemen on the point, I mean, remember the Duck when they won the Cup? I mean, when you have Niedermeyer and Pronger, you win the Stanley Cup. When you have Brent Burns and Karlsson, I'd be very surprised if they're not in the conference finals this year.
And here you go. Classic comment here. Melvin Morrell says, nice pick with the Cavs, Peter. And I guess my response to that is thank you very much. Although it was technically a loser. You know what I'm saying? Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess most people listening to it would be like, just heard that I was liking the Cavs, and they maybe bet them on the full game or something like that. Maybe bet them live, maybe bet them second half. But, it's unbelievable. It was a nice pick. And somehow, I still get an L for it on my record.
Dan Kelly says, Pete, we didn't make a bad bet on the Cavs first half -2. The bet lost by 1 point. Sometimes you're just unlucky.
I hear you. All right, so let's move on to the picks for today. We've got a relatively short card. Yayas with another ominous comment saying, what is he saying? He's saying, Yayas says he's going to have, Mr. Peters, thank me now or later. College football plays on the Late Show. Okay, Yayas, I will choose to thank you later, and I look forward to those plays on the Late Show. All right, let's get into it, Jim.
Yes, and when do you think my official plays go on the Breeders' Cup? It starts Friday morning, so I guess Thursday. I guess tomorrow. Tomorrow I will lock in Friday's official plays, and Friday I will lock in Saturday's official plays. I will have an official play probably on every race.
Lock them in. Were you expecting to have a horses segment today?
No, but we'll need one tomorrow.
We'll have one tomorrow in the morning show.
Both.
Morning and afternoon show.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, of course, has been hard at work crunching a possible value with the Breeders' Cup. Okay, so.
But before we start, let's drop Jay Killy. Says, been sneaking you hombres in on work hours. First day off where I can actually log in and say something. Best show on the motherfucking planet. Keep it up, fellas. Appreciate you and the chat box.
Now, how can I turn that comment into a little bit of life security for me? How can I turn that? There's got to be a way. I'll think about that later.
What we can turn it into is a little bit of life happiness.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Jay Kill. Thank you so much for that awesome comment. I'm gonna save and save this comment.
Eddie
right
Euler
here.
saying Elias Pettersson to win the Calder Trophy. His bounce back from the concussion I find extremely impressive. To be honest, I find it more impressive than the start to the season. Because a lot of these kids take a hard hit like that and they are a little uncomfortable getting in the dirty areas. Eddie Euler says Jimmy Elias Pettersson to win the Calder Trophy. He certainly is the favorite right now. Chris Menzies says, I know Canucks have injuries, but Pettersson, Besser are red hot. Vancouver has a chance whenever he's hot. I like a first period over in this, though. If I were to lock it in now, I think you're right, and I look forward to breaking this down, but I think you're right. I think that the play will be the over, but let's talk about that more when we get there. Anna Merrick says, damn it, Jimmy, I'm going out of town Friday and I can't get any bets in at a track after work Friday. That's okay, Anna Merrick, because my official plays on this show will be books. And books offer a lot of great odds and a lot of bonuses, especially Bookmaker. So I will be making plays that you can make from your home, from your computer. Those will be all my official picks here. Now, on my Breeders' Cup video, that will be different. That will be exotics, pick fours. My video, my Friday Championship Friday, Future Stars Friday comes out today. That will be the bets that I will be making on my HPI account. So that will be the track type bets. But here on the show, I will be making official plays that you can make with whatever book you roll with.
Okay, and just more comments, and then we'll go into handicapping. Tom Marino says the Sharks were completely flat last night. I think the issue is motivation. So there's chemistry and motivation issues with the Sharks, you think? Chemistry and motivation issues.
There's not motivation issues. Listen, they had a bad game. They've had this is a West Coast team that's already had 2 trips out east. That's unheard of this early in the season. They've had a tough schedule. Mark my words, this team is going to go on a roll, especially now. I bet you this 4-3 loss in a shootout to the Rangers is the best thing that could happen to this team. They have 9 of their next 11 games at home. I said this, and I want it to be tracked if we can, so they're down 1 unit. I said, in these 10 out of 12 home games, if you take them on the puck line every single time, we have 10 games to work with, you will be up units, and I'm sure of that. So we're down 1 unit so far. This definitely got their attention. I think the Sharks go on a run.
All right, okay. So let's get Billy Wallace says carry on with the show, guys. Yeah, sorry, I know we talk about a lot of comments in the beginning, but we try to get to handicapping comments for future games. All right, we got one NHL game tonight. Chicago against Vancouver. Obviously, the line has moved in Chicago's favor since opening. About a 10-cent line move in Chicago's favor. I was thinking, a shot with the over, a shot with the first period over. What do you think about this one, Jim?
Yes, sorry, I just want to apologize to Kevin Pine. He said Rangers and over last night. Unfortunately, I backed it with the Sharks. That is my fault. Dan Kelly says, my charts have been on fire lately. Sometimes I don't argue with them.
Okay, let's move on to the handicapping. Give me the bag.
What the hell is that, Pete? That's a handicapping comment. Okay, let's talk about this hockey game. Blackhawks at Canucks. Blackhawks are 3-1-1 on the road, 6-3-3 overall. Both these teams are playing much better than we expected. The Blackhawks, though, are playing so well, and they're 30th in power play. That surprises me. I think that the blame may lie at the feet of Duncan Keith. Maybe he's just slower. We know that Seabrook was a healthy scratch last year at times. This power play is not clicking, and it should be clicking. You have Sayad in front of the net. You have Kane at the top of the circle. You have Taves winning faceoffs, making good plays. This power play should be rolling, and it's not, but Patrick Kane is playing very good. Gate Pass Key says, how is Vancouver not to play? Let me get to that soon. Patrick Kane has a 6-game point streak. The Blackhawks are playing better than expected. He has 11 goals and 7 assists and earned a point in all but one of Chicago's 12 games. He had an off year last year, and he's rolling right now. But they've only scored on 2 of their last 14 power plays in the past 4 games, and I said they are hitting at 12.2% there. Pettersson scored 2 goals, including the winner Monday. He is on a roll. Vancouver lost Brandon Sutter to apparent shoulder injury against Minnesota. This is a guy who does the little things for the Canucks, and it's a big loss. They're already without Alex Edler, Chris Tanev on defense. They're without Sven Baertschi and Jay Beagle up at forward. These are so many people out of the lineup. I don't know how they can keep winning with all these players out of the lineup, but the Blackhawks is not a team I want to trust, and the Canucks obviously have good things going on here. Crawford has been playing very well, but do we back Listen, I cannot back my home team with the amount of injuries they're dealing with right now. I just can't do it.
I want to give a shout out to Jimmy the Bag for that type of awesome research that he does day in and day out. I can't even express how much it helps me out. So I thought that when Pedersen was back, we would be looking to play on Vancouver. But now you're saying that there's too many other issues that they have as well.
There's just too many injuries. So yes, Pedersen and Besser are two young guns playing at a very high level, and the city of Vancouver is very lucky that we can move forward with these guys. But how can you back a team with all these injuries? They're top two defensemen out of the lineup. These guys, they need to win faceoffs, and like Brandon Sutter and Jay Beagle for toughness. Then you lose Sven Baertschi, who's a top six forward. I just feel like too many players are out of the lineup. Kevin Pine says Canucks also just brought up a goalie from the minors. He's starting tonight. Is that a fact? I have Markstrom.
I have Markstrom unconfirmed.
Wow.
I have Markstrom unconfirmed.
Wow. All right, Hayes says, how about a reverse puck line at home, Jimmy? I know that's being cashed in with the Canucks, but I'm not going to take that. I guess the answer is we need to know it if the kid's going to be in the lineup, because we were expecting Markstrom. And Vancouver Brooks says, yeah, Bachman's starting in net for Vancouver. Wow, that is a twist I wasn't
So then they'll
expecting.
probably clamp down on defense for him in this first game, right?
I think that they will rally around him. And a lot of these kids on the Canucks have played with him. I think they will rally around him. In fact, I might rather have him in net if you're backing the Canucks than Markstrom.
Right. And how about Crawford? You know, coming back from the concussion, what's your read on Crawford at the moment?
Extremely impressed. I'm so impressed with how he's handled that long absence. He's a character guy, and I don't think it's a surprise that they have come together in that dressing room with him in net. Ty Rich says, my boy Richard Bachman gets the call up. No idea if starting. Don't count on him to win you games. But he did whoop ass in a handful of games for the Canucks during the 2016-2017 season. This is a very difficult game. I've been humming and hawing over it all morning. I think that the over is probably the most appealing spot, and it's got to be. To me, it just has to be with the injuries that the Canucks have on D. They're going to be goals in this game. The Blackhawks just aren't scoring on the power play, and that's Canucks actually have pretty good penalty killing, 8th in the league at 84.6%. I do think that the over, and Eddie Euler, Hawks Nucks go to OT at plus 290. Al Mack joining us saying Bachman is a good goalie.
You agree with that?
Well, I mean, we need to see what he does in
Ty
the
Rich,
show.
Ty Rich says, don't count on him to win you games, LOL. Does that mean that he's unsure of him, or that he thinks he basically sucks long term?
Well, let me bring up his exact numbers off the Hockey DB database right now.
Dan Kelly making the old joke from elementary school. Take off the masks. Halloween doesn't start until tonight. Shout out to Dan Kelly. All right. So yeah.
Why don't you talk for a tiny bit longer while I pull up his stats?
Okay, Mr. Gokster leans first period under, and Michael Holthauser leans Canucks team total over. Al Mack says Bachman is a good goalie.
Having a rough start to the year, 4.23 goals against average, 865 save percentage for the Utica Comets. The Utica Comets aren't a very good hockey team. He had an average season last year, 2.98 goals against average, 902 save percentage. He did look good when he came up to the Canucks in 2016-17. This is a kid that, came through the hard way, was a 4th round pick, 120th overall, went through Colorado College, started in the ECHL, went to the AHL, tried to come up with the Stars, couldn't make it. Tried to come up with the Oilers, didn't make it. Now he's trying to come up with the Canucks. I have to say that the over is the spot here.
You think so? You think because his history of not having success in the NHL is telling?
It's a couple things. One, no. Too small of a sample size.
Okay.
Too small of a sample size. But this isn't a highly thought of prospect coming up. But I do think the Canucks will rally around him, which means if they do go down a couple goals, I could see them scoring goals. Eddie Euler likes the over at 5.5, but not at 6. What would we get at 6, and what would we get at 5.5?
Wow. So he likes the over at 5.5, but not at 6. Okay, that's interesting. Well, there's the 6 would be plus 104, and I can go to Pinnacle right now and buy down and tell you what the buy down would be if you want. You want me to do that?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. All right, maybe we should take Kobe Valentine's advice on this one. He says one NHL game, tough one to call. Just pass. Save your money for Breeders' Cup or find a better spot in NBA. No need to force. No need to force. It is interesting sometimes with new goalies, though. There can be big value one way or the other, though.
I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this game. I think Kobe's right, and I've spent a long time studying it this morning. Shout out to Intex 2016 Turf Sprint. He's liking Havana Gray at 20-1. Put on your ticket in a wide open race. There are some 20-1s that I'm absolutely enamored with.
And what's up with the Chicago offense right now? What's your general read on that?
They're flying, but they're not scoring on the power play. So that's an offense that you just can't trust, even though they're playing very well. They're 9th in goals per game at 3.4 with a 30th power play. That actually is a good sign if you're it's not really a good sign if you're a coach, because special teams are so much about coaching. Big Ragoose has a little history. Canucks, Blackhawks since 16, 7 meetings, at least 6 goals, 6 out of 7 times. Over 6 goals, 4 out of 7 times. Canucks winning the last 4, scoring 5 goals in the last 3 of 4, and 4 goals in the last one. Yes, I'm interested in the over. This is the first game of a road trip for the Blackhawks. Kane and Taves have rich memories of playing in Vancouver. This is an interesting spot, and I'm going to take a little bit more time, but I will have a play by.
And just so you know, if you wanted to buy to 5.5 at Pinnacle, you get it at minus 121. 5.5 minus 121 at Pinnacle. Ty Rich says, I think Bachman is good enough goalie to win games at the NHL level. Just wouldn't trust him as an 82 game starter or as a 30 plus game backup. He can give you a handful of games though, and he has. Okay,
that's enough for me. I'll take the over 5.5.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jimmy the Bag all of a sudden taking over 5.5. Chicago, Vancouver over 5.5, and that's going to be minus 121. That's the current line that you can buy at Pinnacle. Pinnacle has 6 plus 104, and they will let you buy to 5 minus 121 on the over right now.
Nate Pereira says, Jimmy, do you agree this week's NFL looks really tough? Not really. No. I've hit 17 of my last 23 official plays here on the show. I feel there's 4 plays that I want to make very, very soon, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. And I wish we had NFL on this slate because I would drop a couple plays on this show. I'm liking what I'm seeing in NFL.
All right, so let's move on to NBA. Jimmy the Bag. Once again, yesterday, my second halves in NBA are doing well on my personal accounts. I tweeted one out yesterday that cashed. Once again, I did give out the Cavs first half -2 yesterday, which despite what an awesome play the Cavs were last night in all kinds of ways, turned out to be a loser. Unbelievable. This NBA season, once again, I'm going to be sitting, watching, and waiting, and make most of my NBA plays in the late show. We have some interesting stuff here. We have Detroit on a back-to-back going into Brooklyn. We have Chicago coming off of the absolute shellacking against Golden State, but now, of course, they're playing another tough team, Denver. We have an interesting spot for Indiana. The Knicks coming off a big win. Indiana coming off in a tough loss. So maybe Indiana is in a bounce back spot here, but they are a big favorite. And then we have the always interesting, always hard to figure out Minnesota Timberwolves going up against a tough Utah team. What do you think? What do you have to say about this card, Jim?
Well, Nate Pereira is saying, do you find the NFL card I find the NFL card hard? Not really. Dwayne Reed says, cleaned up in NBA yesterday. We had a great read on the NBA. And Capper John, I suck so bad in NFL, I need help. This is a guy who goes 8-0 last week.
Really? Wow.
Capper John, love this guy. This is a very hard NBA card. Mm-hmm. I found this very difficult. Let's start with Pistons at Nets. I find the Nets very appealing. We talk about situational basketball. Of course, that got me in trouble last night, backing the Magic. But the Pistons are on the second half of a back-to-back, and not just any back-to-back. I mean, they just finished a home-and-home series with the Boston Celtics. Mm-hmm. That 108-105 loss in Boston was a very tough loss. They played hard. If it wasn't for that third quarter, they could have easily won this game. The Nets have lost 3 straight, and they're coming off an ugly 115-96 loss at the Knicks on Monday. Another situational game. I couldn't take the Nets. I couldn't take the Nets because I felt like they were going to be in a letdown spot, but I didn't have the balls to take the Knicks. And all this talk about the Warriors blowing the Knicks out. Listen, the Knicks played very good for 3 quarters of that game. If you put a line through that fourth quarter, That was a great basketball game they had against the toughest team in the NBA. During this 3-game losing streak, the Nets getting out-rebounded. Oh, great news. Sorry, I have to stop everything. Jensen Bonson's son has committed to study and play baseball for a Division III team or college in Virginia. How do you pronounce that?
Which one? Where is it?
Roanoke.
Oh, very nice.
College in Virginia. That's great news, Jensen Bonson. We need updates all season long. This guy's an exceptional infielder.
Awesome.
That's great news.
Awesome.
Back to this spot here. Brooklyn getting out-rebounded, not horribly. 146, 123 in those 3 games. So, yeah, I mean, you're getting out-rebounded by about 7 a game. They are the worst rebounding team, or at least among the worst. We had 43 boards per game. These guys met 2 weeks ago, and the Pistons barely got by this Nets team. Drummond was a monster in that contest, but I don't understand why the Nets just don't go very small and try to, neutralize Drummond. Drummond, 12 career double-doubles versus Nets, 8 and 4 in those games. I feel like the Nets are the play here. Chris LeVert's been playing so well. Then he goes into Madison Square Garden and goes 2 for 11 and is held to 4 points. I think that you can neutralize Detroit's strength in rebounding. Reggie Jackson is not playing very well. He was benched in the 4th quarter last night. I guess David Stewart says, who's stopping Griffin? And I guess that is a very important question. And Hollis Jefferson would be the guy that I would probably put on him.
Look at this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the Pasafe is starting to catch on. Look at this. Mark Campbell, 77, gives us a handicapping tip here. Get ready, guys. Soccer, Scottish Premier, Hibs to beat the Hearts at plus 185, or pick 'em at even money for a Pasafe bet. It's catching on. Mark Campbell, thank you so much for that. All of a sudden, my mood is lifted. Thank you so much for the Scottish Premier League tip and for using another phrase that I came up with. Pasafe. Hearts best 4 players all injured. Hibs money all day. Mark Campbell, 77. Shout out to you. Thank you, my man.
Listen, I think Rondé Hollis Jefferson can defend Griffin. If Jaylen Brown can defend Griffin, why wouldn't Rondé Hollis Jefferson? Tomer says Jefferson can't guard Griffin, but they can double him. Detroit doesn't have great shooting. Detroit is 26th in the league at 3-point percentage at 32.3%. And after an 8 for 31 game Tuesday, they're going to go up against the best perimeter defense in the NBA with the Brooklyn. Now, just statistically, not necessarily roster-wise, but they're allowing a league-low 24.9% from 3-point range. Listen, I think that's where the Brooklyn Nets can take advantage of this game, is on the 3-point line. I really feel that. That's the play. Let's see. Dwayne Reed, early NBA leans, Knicks +6, Denver -8, Spurs -7. I really feel like this is the spot for the Nets. Billy Walters says Blake and Andre will be too much for the Nets. So why don't we move on? Art Hayes says Griffin just had a bad game. He was beasting last night. Will he be able to beast 2 nights in a row? I feel like situational. It's a spot for the Nets. But why don't we move on and take some time with that?
By the way, I am taking this one. I am taking a shot with the Hibs at Pick'em plus 100. I will choose the Pasafe option for this in honor of Mark 77 letting us know that this is a good play. I'm taking the Hibs at Pick'em at plus 100 right now at Heritage. I just made that bet right now. I am tailing it. Thank you so much, Mark Campbell, 77. All right, let's move on. Jim. Yes. All right,
let's keep rolling. And Kobe says you have to remember Casey's not an offense coach. He's a D coach. Brooklyn can knock down some threes, and should be able to take this game. I agree. I really think that it's on the perimeter that Brooklyn can win this game. Billy Walter says Dudley is at power forward, and Dudley is, not good at basketball, but he's good in the dressing room, and the players like him. D. Bankroll says pass on Pistons. I am close to making a move. Here. Miss J says Butler out. Teague out. Wiggins game time decision. Wow. And Kevin Calixto grabbed Utah -2.5. Grabbed it last night. Von Polo loves the Brooklyn Nets team total over. I was looking at that total as well. Let's keep rolling.
And Al Mack says he's loving Livingston in the Scottish League as well. How the hell does Al Mack know who's good? He follows that league, huh?
How does he know? Al Mack is a world capper. He focuses all over the place, man. He's
unbelievable.
This guy is all over the world. He focuses, I'd say, more on the world than maybe even North America.
Mark Campbell says Hearts are top of the league, but don't let it scare you. They haven't played top teams yet. Too many injuries. Wow.
Billy Walters, don't you think that the back-to-back situation for Detroit will have them tired, will have certain players on minute restrictions, and don't you think there'll be such a big advantage on the perimeter? Be very interesting to hear what you have to say. PRC Publicists and Co. My man likes the Knicks plus 5.5. Let's break down that game. Pacers at Knicks. Knicks are coming off their second home win of the season, 115-96 over the Nets on Monday night. Hardaway Jr. starting to do other things than score, and that's what Fizdale's trying to get into his head. 8 assists, 5 boards. Nicolina picks up 16 points. Cantor 15 off the bench. Pacers are coming off a 103-93 loss at home to the Blazers on Monday night. Oladipo averaging 22 points on the year, had 21 in the game, but another bad shooting night for him. Just 9 of 24, and Indiana shot just 41% as a team. That's a problem the Pacers are going to deal with all year. The Pacers scored 93 or fewer points for the second time this year. The Knicks will be without Courtney Lee, who's going to be out for the foreseeable future, and Kevin Knox is close to returning. Melvin Morrell and Kyle Jack, both my MAC plays, cashed last night. Kyle Jack, you are a killer in the MAC conference, and we are very thankful to have you. People giving shouts out to Al Mac, and deservedly so. Melvin Morrell is on the Pacers. Hugh Direction, and it's Hugh Direction's birthday today.
Oh, boy.
But he's not asking for a pick.
Okay, all right.
He just wants to share his love.
Happy birthday, Hugh Direction. Thank you so much for sharing love with us today.
Indiana Pacers, this is from Hugh Direction. Indiana Pacers fit into a decent NBA trend. Play on-away favorites off a loss against home underdogs off a win. Feels like this trend is predictive as opposed to narrative. Thoughts?
I mean, it certainly makes sense because you're talking about anytime you have a road favorite, obviously you're talking about a pretty decent team going up against a relatively bad team, and you got a team coming off a lot. I mean, it makes sense that there would be fundamental factors contributing to that. Now, why would it maintain its value long term? I guess because the models don't necessarily factor in those kinds of situational, those kinds of situational trends. Some of them ignore them, and some of them factor them in lightly. So yeah, it makes sense. It does make sense.
It does make sense. When we look at these first two games, they're happening very close to each other, one in Brooklyn, one in NYC. I think that the Pacers are far more attractive than the Pistons. Far more attractive. But at this point, I don't want to go against this Knicks team at home, which is the only time they're going to give you value. Joseph Tucker saying, thinking Knicks, Pacers under. There's been a lot of movement on these totals. What's the movement been on this Pacers-Knicks game?
The Pacers-Knicks total as of now, we'll see what it is in the afternoon show. Pacers-Knicks, small but significant move to the under. 2-point move to the under. Knicks and Pacers.
Sportsbook Red with a great comment on college football. I am copying and pasting this comment right now. Sorry. Let me do that right now. Copied and pasted. I find the Pacers more appealing than the Pistons. Again, I want to take some time, and this is becoming a nice basketball record I have for myself, and I don't want to mess with it.
So the Knicks actually played well against the Nets, though.
The Knicks played really well against the Nets. Yeah.
So they're not a crappy team then.
I think they're going to give us value at home, like a lot of bad teams tend to do.
Yes. All right, so let's move on. How about Denver and Chicago? How about the under? Chicago, of course, had a successful game where they played strong defensively. Then they got absolutely shellacked by Golden State. A lot of people were suggesting that Golden State was a great play in that one, especially first half.
Scotty Rock was hammering that to us, and I should have
left
taken
money on the table there. And now Denver, playing well defensively. They beat the Pelicans but didn't cover. Is this maybe going to be a more defensive game than people are thinking? And maybe we take a shot with the under here?
I cannot figure out this Bulls team at all. Nuggets will be playing 5 games in 8 days. They just held off a Pelicans team that was missing Anthony Davis. They did not look very good doing it.
Yeah.
But not nearly as bad as the Bulls looked, allowing 149 points to the Warriors, 92 in the first half. Against the Pelicans, though, Gary Harris went for 23 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. Jamal Murray put up 23 points. Jokic, 12, 9, and 10. These are great players. Will Barton still dealing with the injury. He'll be out for a while. Torrey Craig's in the starting lineup and trying just not to do too much. We saw how terrible the Bulls looked. They trailed by 42 at halftime. Sure, it feels like a bounce-back spot for them, but Chris Dunn, Markkanen, Bobby Portis all injured. They're a very difficult team to figure out right now. Extremely difficult team.
And in the meantime, I was thinking that the under might be a play on the opener at 226.5. Now it's down to 222.5. Hard to imagine it'll go much lower than this, so maybe I should wait until the 6 o'clock show to see if it comes back up. But obviously, a big initial early move to the under. And I was leaning that way. I probably would have given the under in this show right now, even though it's the morning show, if it was still 226.5. Maybe I should have tweeted it out, but that's frustrating.
I was watching that total drop, and I was like, I'm not jumping on it. And Carlos Luter's there, says it. The Bulls are the worst D in the league.
Yeah.
Very, very difficult to trust them in an under. Very difficult to trust any game right now in an under spot. Eddie Euler says Denver won the last meeting by 33 in Chicago. Juicy Toast says, I like the over on Denver. Don't think they care too much. Think they'll win easily and won't play defense.
Okay.
Yeah, this is tough. And Al Mack has a couple of AHL plays tonight. Stockton Heat and Belleville Senators. AHL Dogs are on a crazy run this season.
Wow. All right, I'm copying and pasting that. Huge shout out to Al Mack. Thank you so much, Al Mack. And huge shout out to Al Mack.
Jazz at Timberwolves. We just found out all the players who won't be in the lineup for the Timberwolves. What's that done to this line movement?
Let's see. The Timberwolves line. It is now, from 2.5 to 5.5.
The Jazz have won 3 straight and they're 4-0 on the road. Let's take a look at this depth chart and see exactly who is going to be in the lineup for them. You take these guys out. I mean, these are their big boys. I guess maybe they're leaving Butler out because they know Wiggins is going to be back. I just can't fathom why they want to make these decisions here. So Teague is out, Butler is out, so you're going to have Derrick Rose starting at the point. Tyus Jones should get a lot of run. You're going to have a Koji starting at the 2, Bates Diop at the 3. You're probably not going to put Luol Deng there. Taj Gibson at the 4, Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. Now Karl Anthony Towns will go off. Allison says, I missed the NHL pick. Is Jimmy going with the Blackhawks? I'm not sure exactly what to do in this game, but I did take the over 5.5 at -121. Jansen Bonson says Utah should be low-hanging fruit. Odar Lira likes the under in the Jazz game. I think that is the play. What's happened to the total in that?
The total, I'm sure, has also taken a dip. That is down from 222.5 to 218.5. But I actually saw 224 on the opener.
So did I.
Yeah.
Nut Flush Allen says, Jimmy P, can we welcome another new low bag family member, Raymond?
Oh.
Raymond, he's a great soccer handicapper and is now hooked on the show.
Yes. Shout out to you, Raymond. You know, we got ups and downs in this show. Some of the downs happen. One of the ups that's happening right now is my personal NHL record, as well as my personal MMA record, as well pretty much a record overall, except for NBA, which is, par for the course. I'm trying desperately to get my NBA record on the same level as my other sports, and it's difficult. And I definitely feel snake bit. I don't know why I'm focusing on the negatives here. Welcome, Ramon. Welcome, Ramon. Check out my MMA record and NHL record while you're at it. Go ahead, Jim.
I love that. I love your NHL record looking spectacular.
There you go. Theodore McIntosh, low bag show, more addicting than gambling. I got to be able to turn comments like that into just a little bit more money, right, Jim? Right?
Right.
More addicting than gambling. So thank you so much, Theodore McIntosh. I need to get a fucking agent, man.
Speaking of addicting, we have and I know we got to talk about other things right now, but we have a big contest running, a free contest running with $700 up for grabs, going up against me in the Breeders' Cup on SBR Forum, on the SBR Forum. Here is the link. I'll be putting it in the show. I meant to do that off the top of the show. That is the link right there. Please join us. A free contest with $700 up for grabs, and I'm very excited to be a part of it.
Wait, they have to beat you?
They beat me to get the points, but I can't win any of the money.
Oh, okay. So
the money's
someone will win the money.
Somebody will win the money that won't be me.
Okay, great. Because I was going to say if they can beat you, well, what's the point? If they have to beat you to get the money, what's the point?
But, no, Breeders' Cup. You can find big dogs. It's there's a lot of value finding the big dogs, and it's going to be a great contest.
Okay, Gin Rummy in the meantime says, I just see over 5.5 -104. That line just dropped in your face.
Wow.
Did it? Did that happen?
See that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do see that. Wow. Look at that. It is now down to 5.5 -104 at Pinnacle.
Wow, across the board.
Yes. Shocking. All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's wild. I wonder what that has to do with. Got to be, wow.
Nick Murphy says, can you guys go over your picks? I'm late to the show. Nick Murphy, there's only one NHL game, so I have no picks in the NHL so far. Jimmy the Bag took the over in Chicago, Vancouver, and in NBA, I have no plays as yet. I'm going to wait until the evening show to make my official plays. And Jimmy the Bag, do you have any NBA plays yet?
Not yet. I feel uncomfortable with this Timberwolves spot. They keep looking terrible with Butler out of the lineup. Is this the time where they actually step up and show something?
Very possibly, Jim. That is what I'm thinking right there. If this line continues to move and it's at 5.5 right now, I would be thinking about taking Minnesota here. And I'm thinking about doing it right now. but I'm going to wait until the evening show.
Yeah, I hear that. Okay, let's keep rolling. Thomas Cordium says, Jazz coming from some rest days, and guess what? They defend the perimeter and the paint. Towns won't have an easy night like against the Lakers. Jazz -6, expect a blowout possibly. BidXN says, when is the horse show? My horse show is long and in depth.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. Sorry. So Nick Murphy says, thank you, Loshak, but I forgot to tell Nick Murphy what the 2 plays are that I did tail that were given to us by Al Mack and by who's his name? I want to get it right. By Al Mack and who is that guy? Sorry, this is dead air. This is dead time.
Kim Grail says, no, Timberwolves without Jimmy suck. And that's all we've seen.
All right, go ahead. Why don't you talk about some NBA while I find the picks that I am tailing that were given to us in the comments section to Nick Murphy. Go ahead,
Billy
Jim.
Walters is on the Pistons, Jazz, and Lakers. They're the pick. Says, trust Billy Walters. He knows. Drew Brees says, Jazz should blast the Timberwolves by halftime. Kevin Gleekso says, jump on Jazz. Wolves going to get whooped. And my man Troy V says, I love this show. I've taken all the info, and it helps tremendously.
Thank
Drew
you so
Brees
much.
saying Utah first half, low-hanging fruit.
Okay, there you go. Mark Campbell, 77. Here you go, Nick Murphy. These are 2 plays that I have already bet. I'm tailing it. I trust the people who gave it. Al Mack says he loves Livingston in the Scottish Premier League. I took him at Pick'em and -0.5 at -113. And Mark Campbell, 77, likes Hibernian, the Hibs at +100 at Pick'em. Pick'em at +100. Or if you want to be a little bit bold, take him on the 3-way line, which would be about +185. But those are 2 soccer picks in the Scottish Premier League that I tailed, and I am trusting that. So those are 2 picks that I've definitely made.
Big Ragoo talking about the turf sprint. It's impossible for me not to stare at it. I'm just so excited. He likes Wesley Ward actually has 4 horses in this race, and 2 of them Big Ragoo likes. I don't like Big Drink of Water, but Stillwater Cove. He's got Stillwater covered, but Stillwater Cove is a very live dog at 20-1 that I'm extremely interested in. Okay, let's keep rolling. Pelicans at Warriors. Now that Klay Thompson's broken out of his early season slump, this team is unstoppable, maybe. Yeah. Thompson ranked among the worst 3-point shooters in the league. He was 5 for 36 before rolling right there. T. Swade says, how are you liking the Lakers? I am not, T. Swade. I was just reading out Billy Walters' picks. Golden State just finished a road trip where they swept the Knicks, Nets, and Bulls. Pelicans opened a tough 5-game trip with a 5-point defeat on Monday night. They were playing without Anthony Davis. The injury is not considered serious, but Davis remains questionable for this game. But Alfred Payton has already been ruled out. This meeting is the first since that 4-1 series that the Warriors won the West semifinals. Draymond Green dominated in that series, averaged a triple-double. Davis averaged 27.8 points, 14.8 boards for the Pelicans, Anthony Davis, including 33 points and 18 boards in that one game that they won. Warriors have won 20 of the last 22. Obviously, the Warriors are rolling. I just feel like this could be a letdown spot after that magical game and coming back home against a Pelicans team that probably won't have Anthony Davis.
King Rail is saying, telling y'all Pacers -5.5 was the play. Line is at 6 now, and it's going to go up. Do you think we should jump? King Rail telling us the Pacers was the play. What about the Pacers first half? King Rail obviously has a good read on first half and first quarters.
He sure does.
King Rail, what do you think about Indiana first half, which is -3 at UWager, but 2.5 everywhere else? What about that? Indiana, the first quarter is -1.5. First half is -2.5. What about that?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to fade the Knicks first half at home right now. I would prefer to have the whole game to fade them, especially if it's under 7. I would prefer to have the full game. Chris Zeiss talking about the Pittsburgh spot last night. Chris Zeiss, I think that if we either faded or didn't bet, every great team that's traveling home, first game off of a longer road trip, that we would be successful. This is a veteran team. I just thought that the issue at the situation at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh would push them to victory. And if you're just judging on capping, any team coming back from a long road trip has shit they've got to deal with, especially veteran teams, and they seem to struggle in that first game.
There you go. King Rail does like first quarter and the half.
Interesting. Gan Kelly says Golden State on a 5-game winning streak, 1 game at home, 3 and 4 nights last night off. Golden State rolls big. Hit the like button, says Jimmy, you sound a little crazy. Golden State going to roll. This team is out. is going out to outdo one another now every day. Somebody going to drop 40. Someone going to drop 60 tonight.
There's a guy who's not just disagreeing with you, saying you sound a little crazy there. A little bit loony with your handicapping opinion on that one, Jim.
Yeah, so I guess after Thompson goes for 50-odd points and they put up 92 in the first half, you think this is a nice spot for Golden State?
Mm-hmm.
You do?
Oh, for Golden State. Who are they playing again? Oh, that game did not have an overnight line, so I did not look at it yet.
Mavericks at Lakers. Los Angeles lost its third game by 4 points or fewer, losing games by a handful of points. All 5 of their losses have come by single digits. That's got to concern some people, but I think they'll get their shit together. Jesse Smith says, big day, Jimmy. Went 8-3 tailing your picks last night, up 5 units. Thanks, bud. That's great. I love hearing that, Jesse Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Great news.
Mm-hmm.
Mavericks are also desperate for a win. I like the way they played San Antonio. We had a lot of guys in the chat saying they always play San Antonio tough. And one guy even said this is the type of game that goes into overtime, and it did. Mavericks will be playing their 7th game in 12 days. Doncic looks like a boss, averaging 20.4 points, 6.4 boards, 4 assists per game. Those numbers have never been put up over a full season by a first-year NBA player. 31 points and 8 boards against the Spurs. Ingram scored 24 points in his first game back, but only 7 of those came in that big second half. Kuzma, the same thing, faded down the stretch. King Rail says, only bet LA on a teaser. This is a really tough NBA card. Tom Marino says, Mavs are off a tough overtime loss. I think the Lakers are in a decent spot. Lakers play no defense, though. Tom Marino says, I'd lean over. King Rail says, Lakers are horrible in the fourth quarter. Capper John trying to get information on Anthony Davis. Very interesting. And Mark Campbell, 77, talking about Livingston hitting above their weight for sure. A little risky.
Yeah, I read that. So Mark Campbell, 77, not necessarily agreeing with Al Mac's play here in the Scottish Premier League, but not strongly disagreeing with it. It feels like a vague disagreement. Mark Campbell, 77. Again, Livingston was Al Mac's recommended play. He said he loved it. Livingston hitting above their weight for sure. Little risky. It's their first time in Premiership League for a long time. St. Johnston has a really good manager, but if you're feeling lucky, if you're feeling it, good luck. So that is a lukewarm disagreement from what I can tell here.
It does sound like a lukewarm disagreement. Walter Trotter thinks Lonzo goes off today. Do you mind taking a peek at the total movement in the Mavericks at Lakers?
In the Mavs-Lakers game, the Mavs-Lakers game, almost no movement.
It's at what, 235?
Yeah, 235. Well, it's a split line, actually. So it's the market is uncertain as of now. 234 to 235 is all widely available.
I find these games trickier. Maybe I'm making them too tricky. Maybe I'm making them too tricky, but I'm starting to roll in NBA and I don't want to mess. I have no problem paralysis by overanalysis. Stephen Alice says, low bag fan play of the day, Italy, Serie A. Milan versus Genoa. Both teams to score yes at minus 110. Very interesting. Thank you, Stephen Alla, for laying that out for us.
Yes.
Thomas Corjum says, what about the over on the Lakers? Mavs have good three-point shooters, and Lakers don't defend. Lamont Williams, I like Lakers' first half money line. I think that might be very smart, especially Mavericks coming off that very tough game.
Wow, a lot of soccer plays coming in. Big Dick Donnie, shout out to Big Dick Donnie.
Nice.
Dortmund coming with a strong lineup today, minus 1.5 is the play. Shout out to you, Big Dick Donnie. Shout out to everyone who hits us up with these soccer plays. How thankful are we for this, Jimmy the Bag? And by the way, Red Girl also said Crystal PA, a half plus 100 is a soccer play of the day. Okay.
Very interesting. Spurs at Suns. DeMar DeRozan put up 34 points, 9 assists in the Spurs 113-108 overtime victory over Dallas. Led the Spurs in points and assists in 5 of the Spurs' 6 games this season. I just wish they had DeWante Murray. DeRozan's averaging 28.3 points, 8 assists per game. It's just not going to work long term, and he has difficulty defending. Rudy Gay averaging 14.7 points, 8.5 rebounds. Having him as a starting small forward is a sign that you probably don't have a very good basketball team. The Suns have lost 5 straight since they're winning their season opener. They played the last 2 games without Booker, who is doubtful with a strained hamstring. The Suns' struggles to this point are all defensive. Opponents are shooting 50.5% from the field. That's the second highest in the league. The opponents have shot at least 50% against them in the last 5 games. Suns also committed 18.5 turnovers a game. But Elie Kobo out of France, he was the first pick in the second round. Looks like he's the real deal. Looking very good. 18 points, 7 assists, 5 boards, 3 turnovers in 31 minutes. Looks like the real deal. Eddie Euler says the Suns have lost 13 of 14 versus the Spurs. Even without Booker, I think the Spurs are going to lend themselves towards high-scoring games. But that Lakers game still sticks in my head from Saturday night, why that wasn't higher scoring, even the only thing I was on was the Spurs. What is the total in Suns Spurs?
Sorry, there's just a lot of comments coming in. Capper John was asking for me to spell out the other Scottish Premier League pick. It's the Hibs over the Hearts. Just look at it, the Hibs. It's the only team that could possibly be the Hibs. All right, so let me see. What are you asking about, Jim?
The total in Spurs Suns.
Spurs and Suns. It's taking a strong dip down. Opened at 219, down to 214.5 at Pinnacle. 216 is still available at Bookmaker and Intertops, but it's clearly headed down.
Interesting.
Spurs and Phoenix. Spurs play up tempo though, don't they? Kind of.
I thought they did until they played the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they were afraid to play up tempo against that Lakers team.
And what's going on with Phoenix right now?
Red Girl says, I like the Spurs. The Suns are just a complete mess. Cannon's gone, but this Frenchman looks very talented.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first pick in the second round, Elliot Kobo. But the Suns should be better. I thought their depth chart was so much stronger this year, and they're looking terrible defensively. They're just looking terrible everywhere. Dom Ricci says, I've been on the NFL Facebook site telling those clowns to wake up and join the low baggers.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Dom Ricci. And there's never too many clowns. Never too many clowns in the low bagger family. As many clowns as we can add, we will be happy to have. Thank you so much. God, I fucking love Dom Ricci. Shout out to you, Dom Ricci. Thank you so much for doing that. And yes, any clowns that you can recruit, we are very happy to have them. All right. Kobe Valentine loves Dallas +7 tonight. King Rail was saying the same thing. He said, I have no idea why this line is -7. It should be 3.5.
Wow.
But then Mally Mal, Lakers, -7 or 7.5 pick of the day. So here we go. Kobe Valentine loves Dallas. King Rail not quite giving a pick yet on the game, but agreeing that the line doesn't make sense to him. And Mally Mal says Lakers -7 or 7.5 pick of the day.
Helio Rodriguez saying Dallas +4 first half. I believe Dallas is a better first half team. And Billy Walters letting you know again, Pistons, Spurs, Lakers, Jazz. Mm-hmm. Eddie Euler, I like San Antonio to get it done against lowly Suns. I have this fear in NBA. And it just constantly rears its ugly head. Mm-hmm. And that's a situation like the Jazz Timberwolves that looks like a total slam dunk. And the Timberwolves are at home and want to prove something without Butler after getting smacked around and actually do that in this situation. And the Jazz come in relaxed. They know who's not going to be in the lineup, and they just don't play the type of game that you're expecting. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like in NBA you can't trust what you see all the time. And maybe I'm overthinking things here. But after going over all these games and being very uncomfortable with all of them, this Pacers team is hard to trust on the road. And this Knicks team is starting to get a lot of players producing double figures. Eddie Euler says, I know what you're saying, Jimmy. NBA can bite you in the behind when it looks too easy on paper. Absolutely.
In the meantime, thanks so much for everyone giving soccer plays, because it feels like today maybe the best plays on the board will be soccer plays. Ajit J1 says, I second that soccer BTTS play of the day. Genoa has been on fire lately. Last 4 games have gone both teams to score. So it seems like maybe there's a lot of soccer plays that are all in the comment section here. Neil Frank likes Chelsea halftime, full-time at -135. Odar Lira also liking Crystal Palace +0.5. Red Girl likes that one as well, and Red Girl likes the Genoa play too. So it seems like maybe today is a day to look at soccer plays
for you guys.
Yeah,
I'm going to be focusing on the ponies.
All right. And one guy said, hold on one second. He says, Intex 2016, one more thought before I get on a plane. Imagine a horse named Loshak and the Bag moving to first at the BC Classic. Woohoo! Shout out to Intex 2016. Kyle Jack says, sorry, I haven't been so active lately, guys. Shows are currently on always when I'm at work and try to catch a few minutes. Shout out to you, Kyle Jack. Whenever you can join us, we really appreciate it. All your Mac opinions, we really appreciate it, Kyle Jack. And there's a lot of great handicapping comments in the comment section today. I'm going to review all of this. And Eddie Euler likes NYFC -1 at +110. That's in Major League Soccer. Wow.
Dan Kelly liking the Utah-Minnesota second half under. Van City Chris says, Bagger from Van City Bag. That's right.
All right. So I'm gonna be doing this all season long. I'm making most, if not all, of my NBA official plays on the late show, on the 6 o'clock show, watching and waiting and gathering information. So I have no official plays in the NBA right now. Neither does Jimmy the Bag. You have anything you want to add on, Jim, from NBA?
I'm very close to making a move on the Nets. I just feel like this is a terrible spot for the Pistons, an absolutely terrible spot for the Pistons, and I'm going to back it. I'm taking the Nets here, full game.
Okay, we'll see where this line moves in the afternoon show at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Right now, you're going to take what? You're going to take the Brooklyn Nets, right?
That's right.
Okay, so it is moving up. It opened at 2. Now it's up to 3, but we can give you 2.5 minus 110. There's still some 2.5 minus 110s available. That is a market line, but it does appear that this line is headed up.
And what would the money line be?
Oh, 1 second. Okay, hold on. Let me write down minus 2.5 minus 110, and let's quickly check the money line for you here, Jimmy the Bag. Best money line right now, shopping here at SBRodds.com, would be minus 140 at Heritage.
Okay, I'll stick with the 2.5. My man, get money, yo. Says watching and cutting hair at the same time. Love you guys this much.
Hell yes. Oh, God. Shout out to you, Get Money. God, I love the positive comments. You know what I'm saying, guys? I love the positive comments. Oh, it means so much to me. You know what I'm saying, Jim? I try to give back as much as I can with humor, a little bit of humor, a little bit of life advice, a little bit of betting advice, and of course winning picks. So I'm happy to say I have been able to provide overall. My overall record is very positive, and I do have a graphic for my overall record. We just haven't made it yet, but I'm thinking about doing that, Jim.
Sure,
I'm thinking about doing that.
But that's only on sports that are happening at the time.
That are current. Yeah, it's up about 75 units right now, but that's counting MLB, which is up about 22 or so. So not counting MLB would be about 50. But yeah, very nice, and I'm happy to do that.
Exclusive Productions, first half winners, Nuggets, Pistons, Spurs, Lakers, Capo Chic Hill. Capo Chic Hill says, love this show, been watching it for a very long time, finally made a chat. I'm at the Boston Championship party.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of line shopping here for you, Jim, if you wanted to buy. I like Brooklyn Nets bought down to 2 at Pinnacle would be minus 122. So, you know.
I'm fine with 2.5.
All right, 2.5 minus 110. All right, I'm going to make some picks in the afternoon show on NBA, but let's wrap up NBA for now. Jim just has a Brooklyn minus 2.5, of course, in the comments section. A lot of great comments. Catch King's Court, the ultimate in NBA in YouTube content, right, Jim? The King's Court show, 7:30. 7:30. You know, that's
I wasn't paying attention. Yes,
7:30 Eastern time. It's just amazing what they do on that show.
They're killing it.
And thank you so much, King Rail, for coming into our show and commenting every day on NBA. So valuable. I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, King Rail, for doing that. Now let's quickly move on to a college.
But before, I want to give a shout out to Dark Ken, always supporting us. Says this is the best sports handicapping show on the net. Period. Shout out to Dark Ken. And Van C. Chris on the over 5.5 in Vancouver, Chicago. That line dropped drastically after I made the bet. Very concerning. Also on the Nets money line, backing me with the my Nets minus 2.5 and Golden State first half minus 6.5. That's his parlay.
All right, so again, I'm just going to be taking all the comments from the comment section, all the information that I can gather together, and then maybe make some picks in NBA. I know that's a little bit in the evening show. I know that's frustrating for people who are watching the morning show and want decisive picks, but we're just thinking it out here, you know. And I think it's all right. So a lot of great comments. Kobe Valentine says he's going for me as Halloween. Shout out to you, Kobe Valentine.
Nice.
That's a massive compliment there. Let me see. All right, people asking about the soccer plays. All right, let's quickly move on to college football. Ball State against Toledo. This is an interesting game because there are a lot of injuries on both sides here, and as you would expect, the market is uncertain. Anywhere from 17.5 to 19 is all widely available right now. MyBookie and Bookmaker at 19, Pinnacle and Bet Phoenix down at 17.5. Everyone else is at 18, 18.5. So this line is all over the place. 17.5 through 19 is widely available, and the total kind of the same, although it's 65.5 or 66. I know a lot of people are liking the over in this one. I was thinking that the under might be the play, though, now.
I agree. I thought that exactly when I was breaking this down. I mean, the third game in 12 days for both these teams. Just want to give a quick shout out to King, who about business says, Pete Jimmy, if I have another kid, boy or girl, I'm naming you guys Godfather for sure.
Hell yes.
No matter what the mother says, low back family for good,
Who is
for
that?
godparents. King who?
King who may be about business. Oh, God. Thank you so much, King Uabi, about business. Let's meet and hang out someday, man.
Dwayne Reed on minus 17.5. Toledo, stamp it and cash it. I guess there's just so much volatility with this situation with the quarterback. Cardinals now 3-6 overall, 2-3 in conference. Being blown out, back-to-back losses. That 52-14 loss at Ohio was awful. Toledo improved to 4-4, 2-2 in the MAC. They could roll. There's no reason why they can't be in the mix in this MAC West moving forward.
And I did have Toledo in that Western Michigan game, by the way. Kobe Valentine had them to win outright. I just said that I leaned to them, and I made my pick, which was the ultimate safe play of the week, was the first half team total over on Toledo. But I wanted to give at least one play on Toledo, and it did cash. So I was onto that one, Toledo against Western Michigan. Here I'm thinking about the under, Jim.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Let's just break down a little further and then maybe make that bet. Cardinals will be without Riley Neal. We know that.
But the backup is decent, though.
Drew Plitt.
Yeah, I mean, he's been fine.
Yeah, 18 of 29 passes, 235 yards, 1 TD, 2 picks.
And he played last year as well when Neal went down. So the backup is going to be fine. The big question is for Toledo, because if the starter for Toledo is a guy who's very, very mobile, and if he's out, then this guy Peters is a guy with big arm strength but not as mobile, and then I'm assuming that Toledo's going to be running a lot more if Peters is in and Guadagni
do we know that
is out.
Guadagni is going to be out? Because I still see him as questionable.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that they'll probably, since his big strength is his mobility and it's his shoulder, that's the injured, that where his injuries are occurring. I assume that they're gonna use both of them and put him in on some plays, where he'll be, like use him once in a while, where his arm will still be a threat, but it's his mobility that will be the big challenge for the Ball State defense. This is a really tough game. I'd be leaning under.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. And we've had Sportsbook Red mention this stat: Ball State best third down conversion rate in the MAC. But I guess we got to put a line through some of these stats, sort of, without their quarterbacks in play. That's top 25 nationally, and James Gilbert is out. Is that a fact? He's questionable with a back injury.
Oh yeah, I know he was. I assumed he would be out. And DT Douglas, Peter is closer to the quarterback they had last year. Toledo would be fine. That's the thing, that both of the backups are fine. You know what I mean?
Mason, 1985 says, show the records. My NCAA record does not look very good. Let's get to it.
You want to show someone requested the NCAA record? Why didn't they request the NHL record? Who is that? Can I request them to request a record?
Sure, of course.
Sure, I can, but they're under no obligation to do it. Yeah, all right. If you got the college football record, throw it up there. I'm about even right now. I've had a better college football season in terms of my betting than my record shows, because I pussied out on a bunch of plays. But you got it back there. You got the college football record back there. If you got to throw it up, we had a specific request for it. Are you asleep back there? I hear you. There you go. Yeah, my record is, almost even. I've overall had a decent year betting in college football, but I just have pussied out on giving a few picks publicly that I bet. Ray Prakash says the under makes sense. Toledo will put up 40, but can Ball State's backup QB put up 20? I think yes, that's the problem. And then Ball State gave up a lot of rushing yards to Ohio. That is a big problem. Obviously, Toledo has a huge rushing game, and if Ball State can't stop the run, so I'm not sure. I really want the and then Ajit One says let's do the NHL records too. If you got the NHL record, you can throw that one up there or not. Randy Lockhart says, Pete, damn it, let me see the NHL record. My NHL record should also be a little bit better, because I pussied out on a few other plays recently that I was liking it. All right, I'm not. I don't know what to do here, Jim.
Ravi's shaking his head. I guess we don't have.
We don't have the NHL record. Really? Seriously? Would it make people laugh if I sat here going, seriously? Really?
No, it wouldn't. We should say Bill Walters. Oh God.
Oh, there you go. No.
All
right, no, pull that down. Pull that shit down. I'm up about 20 units in NHL right now, and should be up a little bit more. All right.
Vital's giving me shit for being down 13 units in college football. I can fix that. And we'll fix that. Well, let's see some fucking winning records, and Vitalis, I'll lift my sack up and put it on the table for you to suck. Hey, can we see my NBA record, please?
But this
and
is
my
what we do.
NFL
This is
record?
what we
If this
do.
is
All
what
right,
you're
let's not get.
No, let's get into it. Fuck
Okay,
that
let's
shit.
get
I'm gonna
it.
have to see here, watch my shit record.
Yes, there you go. That is the updated NBA record.
I
and
guess
you can
that's
see-
not great.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Let's see my NFL record,
right.
Ravi. In this NFL record, I was down double-digit units, and I got this back. No, NFL. Oh, that's a
there we go. The updated NHL record. All right, listen.
No, I'm not going to, man. You guys are going to sit here and make me put up my shit records. Let me see records with fucking positive units. Fuck that.
All right,
I barely
okay.
slept last night. Where's my horse record? You want to see that? That's up double-digit
Yeah,
units.
show the horse record if you
Is
got
it there?
I don't know. Is this good? Is this
I
good
don't
video
care. I
content? Are
don't
people
care if it's
enjoying what
good.
we're doing right now? There
There
you
we
go.
go. Up
There you
9
go.
to
There you go.
9.2.
Hey, you got the fucking MMA record back there? That's part of this show too. Throw the fucking MMA record up there if you got it. Throw that shit up there. There you go.
That's
There's a
gorgeous.
record you can look at. There's
That's
a record
gorgeous.
you can look at.
But
All
you
right.
want to talk about turning around double-digit units? I was down double-digit units in NFL. Ravi, can
Yeah.
you put up my NFL record, please?
Yeah, you got the NFL record
NFL
up there. You
record.
got that shit up there. Throw that shit up there too. I don't care if we're losing viewers right now.
I don't
Fuck it.
care
Let's throw
either.
that
Yeah.
shit up there. Let's throw that shit up
No,
there.
NFL! God damn it, Ravi! I barely slept last night! You want me to see all the negative goddamn units? Put up a goddamn point of fucking units!
Oh, that was classic. Oh, that was
Jesus
awesome.
Christ, Ravi! Keep putting up my NHL record so I'll lose my fucking mind? Oh,
Now we're
great.
getting a note here. Jensen
Wrong,
Bonzone. Jensen,
wrong
title.
Oh,
okay. Jensen Bonzone saying he wants to see our criminal records. All right, let's move on. That was a nice little diversion there. Oh man, ups and downs in life and ups and downs in the Low Bag Show, even within shows, let alone within the weeks full of
Barely
shows.
fucking slept last night. And I'm going to sit here and watch all my goddamn negative records.
You're begging for the NFL record, and he keeps throwing up the NHL record
Fuck,
after one after another.
Jesus
All right,
Christ.
let's go. All right,
But Billy
so
Walters talking about UFC 230.
Yes.
We would love to have your input.
I'm going to be doing that once again with Andreas Hale. Last UFC event, Andreas and I both liked Serkinov. We both liked Smith, and those both cashed. So, we did well last time. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it again. Again, this Ball State Toledo game, once again, it's tough. I'd be leaning under, but the thing is that, the backup quarterbacks are fine. Toledo has a very strong running game. Ball State can't stop the run, and it's just a little bit uncertain what to expect here. I would be leaning under, though. And
Toledo's defense is strong,
yeah.
right?
No, Toledo?
Yeah.
I thought Toledo had
They're strong on third down.
Mm-hmm.
They have a solid pass rush.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It got better in their last game. Yes. That's a recent emergence from Toledo. Yes. Their pass rush all of a sudden was awesome in their last game. And the question is now, is that going to happen again here? Maybe.
Yeah. Randy Lockhart says, Jimmy, when will you post the horse picks? Want to make sure I don't miss them. I got a Latina orgy this week. You know what? If you got a Latina orgy, don't worry about anything else in life.
Yeah. All right. I'm not sure what I want to do here. I have a feeling that this total will be dropping back down to like 64.5 by the evening show.
That under that was said from Red Girl, trust me, yesterday was very easy. It was the most relaxing under we've had in some time. Kyle Jack says, I'm doubling down on the under tonight.
Really?
Do it.
Wait, what?
Hal Abraham says, get some sleep, Jimmy. I got 9 more races. I got another 100 and some odd horses to break down. Oh no, DJ Big Boss, I like Ball State over.
But Kyle Jack, I'm doubling down on the under tonight. Do it. I was thinking about doing that. And Dwayne Reed said, Preet, it's a no-brainer. Lay 17.5. Toledo wins by at least 24. Yeah, I mean, Toledo is clearly the much better team, obviously. Yeah.
Maybe this is just low-hanging Toledo smashes. And if they smash, would you rather take them first half?
Maybe. But then again, these MAC games can be very tricky. I'm also thinking maybe about the Ball State team total under, which right now would be, let me do a little quick math here. It would be about 24, I guess. 24, right?
Mm-hmm.
That might be tempting. The Toledo team total under, if you get 24, if you get 24.5, that might be the play right there. I'm sorry, not the Ball State. Ball State team total under 24. Let's see what we got here at 23.5 at Heritage. Pinnacle might hit you up with a 24. Let's just quickly. We're going to wrap this show up in a second. I just want to quickly check what the team total might be here for Toledo. If Pinnacle has, for Ball State, Jesus Christ. Losing my fucking mind here.
Isaac Higgins says the locker room is quit. Is he talking about our locker room here?
No, I think he's talking about
the Raiders.
23 and a half. No, it's not 24. It's 23 and a half.
Steve Mapp. Shout out to Steve Mapp. Says, I love this show. Listen, I will not be here on the late show. I have my championship Saturday video to figure out. That's going to be over an hour long. So I've got so much work to do. But my Future Stars Friday video will be out today. And I'm very, very excited about it. I'm very excited about the Breeders' Cup. We're going to be hammering it in a big, big way. Don't forget about the competition at sportsbookreview.com on the SBR forum. I will be tweeting that out starting all week. And very, very excited about it.
DT Doug says the gap between Toledo and Ball State is cavernous. And yeah, you might be right. I'm sorry. We're going to wrap this show up in a second. But I'm just, the first half might be worth a shot with Toledo. It's, 11, but Pinnacle still has 10. Intertops has 10. It's split 10, 10 and a half, 11.
I do think Toledo first half. It's DJ Big Boss has hit that over last night. Can we just take one more minute? I know we need to close the show, but DJ Big Boss, exactly why do you like the over? If you could just maybe sum it up real quickly. I know that's difficult to ask, but I'd really like to take the under here, and I was going to. I was going to until DJ Big Boss said that.
Yeah.
So DJ Big Boss, if you could take a second, and while you're doing that, if we're just waiting for DJ Big Boss for 1 second, can I tell you quickly the NFL plays that I'm going to lock in? I won't break them down at all, but the NFL plays that I'm very excited about. One is the Chiefs-Browns under. But I'll tell you the play that I've been thinking about more and more, and I guess I just want to lock in maybe right now, if you don't mind. Also, the Texans team total over, and maybe just the Texans straight up against the Broncos, I find very appealing. The Saints at home against the Rams, I think I might jump all over. Also, the Titans covering that huge spread against the Cowboys, I find appealing. And quickly, the over, where is that over, that low over? Bears at Bills. Is that still at 37? Because you know what? If that's at 37 right now, I'll lock in that over right now.
All right, I'm pulling up at NFL in case there's any.
DJ Big Boss says they don't play defense in the MAC until the last championship game.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Toledo has super, even if Toledo is just running all day long, Ball State can't stop the run. So, I mean, I know that running implies, unders, but that's when you have defenses that are capable. If you have, running backs breaking off, 50-yard touchdown runs every other drive, you're not going to get an under just because you're running all the time.
Dwayne Reed says Ball State quarterback injury affects the team way more than Toledo. Better program, home field advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off for right now, but I'm definitely leaning, Ball State under, and I guess I would be leaning under.
Okay, I think this is a play I'm going to lock in if there's a 37 hanging.
So which one do you want here, Jim?
Bears at Bills.
Okay, Bears at Bills. Hold on 1 second. Bears at Bills. You want the over if there's a 37?
Yeah.
Yes, there's a couple of 37s. Bookmaker, Will Hill, a few other places, over 37 minus 110. You want that one?
I do.
Okay, Bears, Bills, over 37 minus 110.
I think that having Peterman, back rolling is a big, big deal for the Bills. Not only can you probably count on a pick six, but I don't know why. I don't know why on earth they would move to Derek Anderson. Yes, I know 5 picks, nonstop picks. This is a guy who completely understood the playbook. You have to go with him. He won the job in the exhibition games, in the exhibition season. I really think picking up a quarterback that's, drinking coffee at a Starbucks is a mistake. And you have to go with a guy who understands exactly what you're trying to do. And I think that if they had have done that, they would have a better showing over the last 2 games. And I'm taking the over 37 here at minus 110.
All right, and on that note, let's wrap this show up. I'll be hosting the show solo today at 6 o'clock. Also, the pre-snap reads show will be going at 4 o'clock Eastern time today if you want to watch that. Tomorrow, I'll be previewing UFC 230 with Andreas Hale. We'll be talking about MMA tomorrow and Friday. Of course, Jimmy the Bag will be all over horses all week this week.
Yeah!
We got a lot of shit that we're covering. And we'll try to do our best to cover it all, but of course, the only way we can cover it all is with your help. All the soccer picks today are great. I've already tailed 2 of them. I might tail a few others. Thanks so much, everyone, and I'll see you at 6 o'clock Eastern time.